Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Modern Day Mystic Show. Our mission here is to help you turn whatever you desire into real-life manifestations by sharing our revolutionary technology to make that happen for you. We bring you such cutting-edge information through our resident wizard, Peter Schenk, and also through such magical guests each week that are really making a difference to improve our lives on a variety of levels. I am your co-host, Donna, along with the founder of this program, the modern day mystic himself, Peter Schenk. Peter!
Hey, Donna, how are you? Hey, everyone. So we made it back from the Emerald Coast unscathed, even though we had a blizzard here in the Northeast the day after I got back. We announced the 30-day challenge winners. It was tough. We had a lot of people sending in their diaries and information, and it was a tough call, but we did it. We had 3 winners. We're now on Tuesday nights instead of Sunday nights. Thank you. That was a really hard decision to make in, say, a fraction of a second.
Real hard.
Donna, what do we got going on?
Oh, well, we've got some very cool announcements before we get started, Peter. So I just want to announce that HFAs are on special. So we've got a couple incentives for the HFA product line. And if you haven't noticed this, folks, but that HFA product line is growing. So the home and office, the HFA Plus is back in stock. And as you know, those do not last long, especially since Peter has given an incentive. So check that out. You'll want to go to the website and look for the HFA Home and Office. That's the HFA Plus Home and Office. The incentive code for that is HFA 10, the number 10. Then, of course, we also have the HFA, A New Way to Travel. That code is HFA 30. So check that out. And of course, the mini is back in stock.
Thanks, Donna.
And also, I almost forgot, Peter, the higher octaves, they're starting Thursday. Limited seating, folks. So if you want to jump in, this is the time to do that.
Folks, the higher octaves courses are going to be mind-bending. I've been wanting to do these for a couple of years, but the timing hasn't been right. We went through 3 generations of master classes last year. They were all phenomenal. The higher octaves is going to be really the pinnacle of workshops I've done to date. So there's some seats left. If you want to get in on that, you can sign up through the website. We decided to offer some free workshops coming up probably in the April timeframe. We're still working out some of the specifics on it, but we're going to have an Aquaware 5 workshop. We're going to have a Source 5 workshop. We're going to have a 12th Project 4 workshop and probably a Light Body 5. So I'll be showing you some tips and tricks. It'll be interactive. We'll obviously do a lot of activations in that time and our time together. But again, those are just free workshops. It's just a way to get you more intimate if you own the product, if you're thinking about getting it, or you're playing with the 7-day free trial. This week, we received another product, and this is one that we've been talking about for a while. You've probably seen me do some videos on it already. It is the Q Shield for animals. And this was really inspired by David Shear, who said, you got to do this, you got to do it. So based on the mini technology, we came up with a design that is really perfect for animals, okay? And what you'll notice is if you have the mini, you'll notice this has a clockwise spiral that goes all the way through the device. Here we have Q Shield for animals engraved into it, and on the back we have a counterclockwise spiral. There's a lot of information on the website on how these work. We do have these in stock, but they're moving fairly quickly. So if you want one, they are priced to move. Again, you don't have to have a pure copper or pure silver chain on your animal. Any way you want to mount it on them is fine. It comes with a spiral ring. You can just put it on like a keychain. So yeah, these are ready to roll, and these are coated, so they're not going to varnish. Okay, so with that said, we're going to do a quick water blessing, everyone. Please get a glass of water. We're going to do this one slightly different. So, as you know, Karen Lagrange is our guest tonight, but she sent me a third pyramid, which I was touting about a few days ago on an MDM Minute. That pyramid actually just came awake about 15, 20 minutes ago. We're going to use the power of that pyramid to charge your water. Okay, so no crystals, no waterfalls, no hand holding, anything. Just put your attention on your glass of water and put your attention on the pyramid. And here, I'll just, I'll raise this quickly. So just put your attention on this guy. Actually, put it on the bottom. The bottom is just amazing. And in that time frame, you'll feel that energy rolling from the pyramid into your glass of water. Happens at the speed of thought, folks. Just put your attention on the water. You don't have to hold up your hand. You don't have to do anything. Just put your attention on the water. Boom, that's it. Go ahead and drink your water, folks. It's just been charged with Karen Lagrange's pyramid power. Donna, tell us about our guest, please.
You bet. Happy to tell you about Karen Lagrange. And Karen is a natural-born healer. She's an empathic healer specializing in Reiki, light weaving, reconnection, light language, tarot cards, and candle magic. Karen knew she was different and never really fit in. Learning to meditate, she could manifest thousands of dollars. I should say that's $10,000s of dollars. And to help others, she began making pyramids. As she was led by spirit, by using the highest vibrational copper crystals, herkimer diamonds, real diamonds, etc. You'll see all that tonight. By turning your energy, each pyramid, by tuning into your energy, each pyramid is custom made. They can bring you healing and change the frequency in your home. Case in point, when her husband was diagnosed with cancer, Karen made a pyramid and put it under his bed in his room. His cancer was undetected at that time. Karen is here to remind people to believe and ask, and you will receive.
Karen, how are you? Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
So, folks, if you're just tuning in to Karen tonight for the first time, this is going to tell you a little story. Back in October, she sent me a custom pyramid, one of the big ones. And, you know, over the last couple of years, me and Donna have been doing the show. And obviously for years before that, I have received a lot of different gifts from people that just feel empowered, like they want to share what they do with me. And that's cool. And that's great. But when I received this pyramid, things started shifting in me. And then she was gracious enough to send me a second one. And just a few days ago, I received the third one. And I tout these pyramids because they are the only product that I have ever received that I actually keep in my workspace. And, you know, the MDM website is very sacred to me, and I don't pollute it with anything except what I create. Well, I felt so inspired that Karen's, you know, you can order these pyramids directly through the website. I don't receive any compensation for this. I just did it because her creations need to be out in the world. So Karen, tell us about them, please, and tell us about yourself. When did you first become clairvoyant?
I've been that way all my life. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint where it started, but always, ever since I can remember.
What does that exactly mean, being clairvoyant?
I just knew when things was going to happen before it happened. I knew when danger was there.
So if like I was to poke fun at Donna, you would know it before I actually did it?
Nope, but only when it wants to show me stuff.
Donna's trying to hold it together. Good thing she's on mute.
I'm not.
And so why and how did you start building these pyramids?
Oh, actually, it started with the Oregon. I wanted the Oregon to get rid of negativity because I work in a job that's high stress, a lot of negativity because I'm quality person for quality. So a lot of people don't like quality because they come out and tell you you're doing something wrong. So I needed something, you know, to get rid of the negativity there. But then it wasn't good enough. I mean, it wasn't powerful enough. It just, I wanted more. So then next thing I know, I'm buying all these crystals and finding crystals that I bought from a long time ago and putting them in there. And it just took over.
Let's talk about the significance of what you put in these pyramids. And folks, I'm going to hold this up for a minute. This is the bottom of the latest one that she sent me. You know, I mean, there's so much crazy, beautiful energy that just comes out of here. And then, of course, on the top, there's just a beautiful master crystal sitting on there. So, Karen, when you've made 2 for me in the past, you've made this 3rd one. What's in it and what inspired you to put it in it? And like, what are the processes that you use to create something like this?
Okay, I connect with your energy to see just what it is that you're lacking and what you're needing. Somehow, I don't do it, but Source does. And then it gives me indications on what to pick up to put in your pyramid. Like I'll buy a bunch of stuff, but I won't put it all in. I'll put something else in. It just kind of like takes over and makes your pyramid. I had different things set out too, and I got told, no, you got that from the one pyramid and you got that from the other pyramid. This is going to be different. So I wanted something to knock you on your butt.
Yeah, well, it was funny because in the pre-show I asked Karen to activate it, and she did, and Donna just almost literally fell off her chair. She's like, oh.
It was extremely powerful. Yeah,
so
crazy.
In this particular pyramid, what's in there and why is it in there?
I got led to the Tibetan monks for some reason, for more business for you, for more financial, for more stability financial. I was looking more towards that, and to bring you closer to Source, to bring it to you. The monks are really good on making amulets that are powerful, and that's kind of like what these guys are, and they're in your pyramid.
Oh yeah. So the crystals that are in there, then you have some eyes in there, you have coins in there. I mean, you have everything but the kitchen sink. I mean,
The sink's in there.
Tell us about what else you got in there.
Okay, so the crystals, I put the highest vibration ones that I can get my hands on. That is, so then that way they all work together to bring you what you want. So if somebody was wanting something for love, we'd put more things geared towards love with sacred geometry, with rose quartz for love, symbols for love. But for wealth, for business on that side, we just do more towards that. But stability is the one thing that we really need to work on your foundation, so then that way you stay grounded and you keep bringing business in. Really works good for that. Yeah,
I'm pretty grounded, although sometimes I'm on the opposite end of the rainbow, but it's good. That's where the brilliant ideas come from. They just flow out of the rabbit hole. That's why I did the rabbit hole series. So how long have you been making these pyramids for?
Well, first I thought maybe 4 years, but somebody told me it was like 10. It wasn't the pyramids part. The pyramids was more like maybe 5. I was doing like necklaces.
So, a lot of people have like rituals before they work with energy. So, look, how do you work with these pyramids? Is there anything you do prior to sitting down? So say you get an order tonight for a pyramid. How do you assess it? How does that process work?
Okay, so I do one at a time. I get as much information and meditate. I just stop and I just think about the person that I'm making it for. And I actually write their name down, everything that I took for information for them. With like you, it's easy in Donna, because I can take your video, like right here. I would take that down, let it play the whole time that I'm making yours. Even when I'm not there, I just let it run continuously. And for people that I don't know, I just put all their information with it. And I just ask Source to help me make sure that it's for their highest good, for what they need, whatever it is that they're wanting. Let's put it in here, and they just kind of like take over. It's really good to know what their you know, their birth date is, if you can get it. If I don't know who they are, it's just as much information about that person as I could get.
Now, the pyramids are made from a resin, and although they're solid, they almost feel kind of gooey. Do these leak?
They shouldn't, because they're liquid, and then the liquid forms into a solid.
Mine doesn't have to go to the bathroom. That's a good thing.
Mine doesn't either.
Yeah, mine don't either.
What's a crystal matrix box, and how does it work?
Oh my gosh. You know, that is so weird. This is the crystal matrix. Did you get enough light, or do I need, let me turn the light on.
Let there be light.
And
There was
see,
light.
ask and you shall receive, right?
Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Woohoo!
How do we
Okay,
miss that?
this is the crystal matrix box. And I got this about when I was making the pyramids. I'd have to say about the same time. And I asked Spirit for the money, because I wasn't going to spend $1,500 for that. And he gave me the money. So I bought it. But the weird part is, until you asked me what I could do for an activation, I really haven't been using it. It just sat on the shelf. But people asked me for it, if I'd let it borrow, you know, could I borrow your box? Could I use it? No, I just left it there. It was for you.
I'm honored. Does that mean you're going to turn us all on to that Star Trek type energy and we're going to warp out of here?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. I don't know, Donna. You think the crowd's ready for one of these activations?
You know, I think we
Yeah.
do need to wake them up. I asked them to bring their questions. So, folks, you know, you're not to be all quiet and shy on the Modern Day Mystic Show. So bring your questions, and yes, let's wake them up.
Well, I'm quiet and shy. Why can't they be?
Hmm.
Okay, Karen, it's all you.
All right. What do you want? What would you guys like cleared today or brought into your life?
I would like abundance for everyone listening live on the show and for those listening to the recording down the line.
All right.
Right on.
So anything that would be blocking you from having the best year of your life financially, are you willing to let go any energy that's blocking you, known and unknown energy that's keeping you from having this abundance and wealth? Are you willing to let it all go?
I am.
Okay. And do you deeply and completely love and accept yourself unconditionally?
I do.
Here we go.
All right, what just happened?
You got cleared.
That's pretty cool. Now, how does that work? What was happening?
It works with the frequency of your body, and it works with your aura, your energy. It's the scalar waves, the light. I can tell you what, my brother has Agent Orange from Vietnam, and he watched a replay of your show. And until then, he couldn't sleep all night. He used that for his sleeping, and he started to tell me that it was working right off the bat. He was able to sleep. But he said I couldn't use it for a testimony because it wasn't long enough. So since your last show, he's sleeping.
So, so for clarity, since the last time we've had you on the show and you used the box?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And he couldn't sleep before, and that's a fact.
Really? So he's sleeping through the night. That's amazing.
Yes. Nothing worked before. So he's a believer.
Well, you know, there's a lot of things that happen just outside our consciousness grid, and that's where I like to play.
And he also was the one that wanted that money pyramid that I made.
Oh, that is cool. Can you bring that a little closer, please? Wow. That's very cool. I'm sorry, what were you saying about that?
It's not this one, but he had one like this that he wanted for money, and he gave me coins, and he wanted to bring some abundance. So money's been coming into him ever since I made him that pyramid too.
Karen, can you hold that up a little bit and just be still with it?
Sure. When they're more clear like that and you put a light under it, those are the ones that show the different colors. Like, well, actually, I got a light.
But that pyramid has a very distinct frequency, which is transparent, which is interesting because I always tell people that, you know, abundance flow, manifestation is a give and a take, right? It's like energy. If you cut the flow, it stops. That's transparent. So it moves both ways with no resistance.
Yeah.
That one's very cool. So when you've cleared somebody, why do they feel like they need to be cleared again?
They don't. But when you start going back to the story and the feeling of what they lost, then you go right back into needing cleared again. You got to let it go. You got to realize you're cleared. But as soon as you start, oh, well, I don't think I'm cleared. The subconscious, you just got to believe and know that you're cleared. Make sense?
So the ego's popping up for someone that comes back and says, I need to be cleared again. Yes. Because they're being stuck in the past, which is energetic roots, which stop you. It's like when you try and do something, you can't move forward or backwards. So you do personal sessions too, obviously. And yes. When you work with people, how do you clear them?
Well, source kind of takes over, and then I just know what to say and what to do. But I like to go back to when they were born. Sometimes I know what age they had tragedies at.
So you energetically go back in their timeline?
Yeah.
So, we'll use Donna here as a guinea pig. Donna just can't sleep at night. So can you energetically just go back in her timeline and figure out why?
She doesn't want to sleep at night. I'm sorry.
She
it's just up at night.
It just comes out. Okay.
She told me that she watched that movie in the early 80s called Poltergeist. You remember that clown that came out? Well, she had a clown like that, and it used to scare her so bad after watching that movie. So can you go back and energetically clear the clown from her karmic past?
We could do that. Are you really serious? Because I get that you're just like a wild party animal, and you just want to party. So you just kind of like don't want to go to sleep. I'm sorry. You're just used to it.
what
You know
happens
I
in,
am.
what happens in Florida stays in Florida.
That's right. That's true. I'm just a natural night owl person.
Yeah, I could feel that.
So
Yeah.
We could trade places and you could go to work for me on that third shift and I will let you.
So can you do an activation with Donna quickly? Can you clear something for her past?
Absolutely.
Donna, do you have something in particular? You don't have to tell us, but just know what it is.
Okay. You got it. Karen, are you going to put your attention on me?
Absolutely. So, Donna,
Yes.
we are going to go back a ways with you,
Okay.
even farther back than what Peter said.
Okay.
I'm getting age 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Being a toddler. Okay. So go back to like, just imagine how you were when you were a toddler. Okay.
Okay.
And naturally, 2-year-olds touch things that they ain't supposed to touch. Right. So you were probably scolded, and that's where it started with you on, a lot of things that you are today. So anything that's holding you back from what you got going on in your brain right now, going back to that age, and even before that, let's go back to the timeline of your ancestors.
Right on.
Maybe even before that. Known and unknown energy that's holding you in that position of what you're feeling. Are you willing to let that go?
All day long. Yes.
And we're not going to bring it back up in your brain again, because we're going to fill you up with love as soon as that's cleared. Okay?
Love, love.
And that's what this light's supposed to do. That's supposed to bring it back in to fill you up. So don't even think it's still there, because it's gone. When we're done with this, it's done deal. Okay?
All right, let's do it.
So anything blocking you, you're letting that go, correct?
I'm
Okay.
done with it.
And do you deeply and completely love and accept yourself unconditionally?
Absolutely.
Here we go.
Wow.
Take a deep breath.
Okay.
Now, can you feel in your body any stuck energy?
No.
Okay, but just to be sure, would you stand up and touch the floor?
You know, if I stand up, I'm going to be out of the camera, so
Okay.
I'll just kind of
Okay, just wiggle.
shake and shimmy.
There you go. Now do you feel different?
I'm not going to comment.
I absolutely.
Yay!
Yay! Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
Thanks for going back to the ancestral days, because, you know, a lot of us, I guess, you mean both you and Peter are the experts on this, but I guess a lot of us, we carry stuff from way back. And I like what you said, Karen, about the stories, because we don't really have to go back to those stories. We could trust in the process to move forward. And I think that's the piece that makes people stuck. You know, they always want to, the story is so much more comfortable than the growth. And I know, Peter, you're going to hit on that with the higher octaves, but the growth is where we move.
Right.
You know, I've never fully understood people that say they carry things from past lives. You know, I can understand the, you know, an energetic timeline. I can understand a conscious timeline, but to bring something negative from a past life, and I'm not a firm believer in traditional past lives, just FYI, I don't think is possible. Karen, you want to elaborate on that?
Well, you gotta realize your mother's energy, your father's energy from their parents. Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out how to make it make sense to you.
Talking's a good way.
So the grandparents raised the parents, and they put in, you know, their you know, upbringing, which wasn't anything like what we do now. So you're carrying that energy with you because they were training you on how you're going to be today.
What
They
you're actually
molded you.
carrying, you're carrying the experience of them, not the energy.
Yes, that makes sense.
And you're not talking past lives. You're talking people that are in your conscious reality living.
Yes.
Okay. I'm talking about, you know, okay, so, and this is only an example. I've been here an infinite amount of times, doing the same thing an infinite amount of times to learn something so I can move somewhere beyond the physical form. Well, I don't believe that. You know, and here's a perfect example, and I use this all the time. And you know, you've probably heard it from me. You're going to hear it again. Karen, you're the world's leading anthropologist, right? Everything in the world that has to do with anthropology, everybody looks to you. Okay, and you're going to set out on your greatest conquest. You're going to write the greatest novel about one of the 70 some odd tribes in the Amazon rain basin that have never had contact with the outside world. And you're going to trudge through the Amazon rain basin for, you know, 3 months. You're going to wave a white flag and you're going to live with these people for 10 years. And you're going to come back and you're going to write the world's greatest novel based on your experience. Okay. That's from a conditioned mind based on your schooling. But you know, from an evolved consciousness, that the best way to do that is to be born into that society and live a lifetime with them. But in order to do that, what do you have to let go of? You have to forget everything you ever were in order to have a true experience. Hence, we are all spirit energy living the human experience. So based on that little juggernaut, right?
Right.
You know, and again, this is just a theory. You know, before you're born, you're cruising up and down the Akashic records and you find the book of life of Karen and you're like, wow, I'm going to live this. Boom, you're born. But you had to forget that, you know, your energy, you know, your buddies are on some energy bar, you know, wherever in the universe, drunk as monkeys, laughing at you, waiting for you to come back and talk about your experience. But every action, every reaction, every choice, everything you've ever done is based on this book. So although you have the illusion of free will, you know, you go in the Baskin Robbins, they got what, 36 flavors of ice cream. You're like, I want the Funky Monkey or the Rocky Road, but you got to make a choice. But you can flip back and forth for eternity. You're going to make a choice, and that choice you make is already written. It's preordained. You have the illusion of free will. So when you take that theory and you wrap it into, oh, okay, I got some karmic bullshit from 1,000 generations ago. I don't believe that. I believe when you're born, you wipe the slate clean. There is no energetic karma to anything, but you do have experiences that you learn along the way. And I know firsthand because I clear energy from people day in and day out. And a lot of it has to do with their early childhood. And, you know, energy that is in, you know, physical or non-physical form, you know, I'll look at the lifeline of a person from when they come into creation and when they exit creation, and over that line, I'll look for great ups and great downs, and I'll nail it generally within a minute of something traumatic happening in your life. And that energy that's caused by that great joy or that great low or anything in between will wreak havoc on the body, mind, and spirit over time. And that translates into the physical plane as an attachment. It's a whole host of human ailments that can be very, very quickly cleared if you can see the root cause. And that's where I specialize, obviously. And, you know, but this is stuff that is experienced within the confines of your time here. Well, time is linear, and it's actually an illusion. So let's just say your creation here, you as an individual, as a conscious creation, but there is nothing that comes from the past. There could be memories that contain experiences, but there is no energy that comes through. There is nothing to be cleared. What you cleared with Donna was an experience, not an energetic form like she had in her head. You understand?
See, that's where the source talks. Okay, so I didn't come up with that. Source come up with that, and it could have been because that's what she needed to hear.
Good point. Well,
that's the only thing I could come up with, because it don't come from me. It comes from somebody else.
What do you think, Donna?
Well, you know, when you were talking to me about me being 2, and as a 2-year-old, I have a twin sister. You know, most folks don't know that about me, but I have a twin sister. And the funny thing is, Deb and I have done this total opposite switch. Deb was the outgoing one, and I was the crybaby. So at 2, I was very misunderstood, and everyone thought, oh, she's such a crybaby, and I was a crybaby. And so the whole scolding thing, that makes sense to me, because, you know, the patience just wasn't there for a crybaby. Folks, you know, who had children, crybabies, that's a tough thing. But what they didn't know, what none of us knew, was I needed my adenoids taken out, and I had my adenoids and my tonsils removed when I was 2, so that I could breathe. I couldn't breathe as a child. But they just thought I was this whiny, you know, high maintenance bratty baby. And actually it was a medical thing that I couldn't breathe. So
that's a perfect point in case. So you took care of the physical stuff, but the energy remains. So as a grown woman, you're still a whiny crybaby that likes to complain about everything, right?
Did I set myself up for that or what?
I pushed you right off the cliff.
Boom, gone.
So Karen, honestly, share your thoughts about, you know, people coming into this timeline, this life with past stuck energies.
It's in their head. A lot of it.
Yeah.
So basically, when you're channeling to work on a person, you're just kind of filtering in that little birdie or your angel wings, or
right,
you know, and you listen to it and you just become the orchestra. Now, here's another theory of mine, and this one's pretty interesting. You know, you have probably had a lot of people that have come to you and you've worked on them, and they've turned around and said, you're the only person that has ever cleared this from me. Is that not the case?
Yes.
Okay. Happens to me, and it really happens to a lot of people out there. And I'm a firm believer that, you know, if you have any type of issue that you're seeking, you know, a shaman, a healer, doctor, psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever, unless you have a contract with that person for the time and the place for the great work to be done, it's not going to be done. And those are contracts that are in your book of life. You are the only person at that time and place for that great work to be done, to remove that from that person. And, you know, it's kind of funny because me personally, you know, I've been doing energy work for about 12 years, and I've got a long laundry list of people that I've helped through some very precarious situations in their life. And they always refer to me as like the last train stop before the train goes off the cliff. Why? Because when they reach me after they've worked with a lot of other people out there that are very talented, by the way, but there was no contract. I have the contract with them, and that's why the great work can be done at that time.
I have to thank you too. You helped my friend Sandy.
Oh, I did?
She was the one last night that you talked to.
I don't.
Well,
You see, with me, I don't remember working on people. So, and I get names messed up all the time. Like I'll call Donna Sandy. I'll say, hey, yo, whatever, you know, I just.
well,
hey,
she
you.
was. She can't thank you enough.
Shut up.
Okay, sorry.
You're not allowed to say that.
I know. You remember I have a twin, Debbie. Remember?
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, she can't thank you enough, and she's so floaty. Before she talked to you, she was a wreck. She was crying. She was in so much pain. Her heart hurt her so bad, and you did clear it. So thank you for that.
Yeah, but you see, that's a perfect example because there was a contract between myself and her long before. Well, I don't want to say long before I was born because that would make her sound older, but I don't want to go there. But that's a perfect example of the contract. And, you know, there's generally three types of people that seek me out. Okay. There's people that know exactly what they want, the amount of time it's going to take. And I'm like, okay. And then when I start telling them things about themselves that only they know, and then I start telling them things about themselves that they don't know, that's when their story changes. Okay. And that's where the real work begins. Then there's people that don't know what they want. They just want to connect. And that's where the story is formed. And there's always a story, by the way. And 9 out of 10 times, it's either between the ages of 3 and 7 or 13 to 17 is where that energy has formed. And then there's people that just like to challenge me for some reason. I'm like, okay, you're paying for my time, but you're challenging me, really? Well, okay, that's fine. Yeah, well, I'm glad, you know, she's doing better. She's a very, very lovely woman. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So let's get back to the pyramids for a few minutes. So how you probably constructed a few hundred of these over your time, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Is there any one thing that comes to mind that just pops out that was mind-blowing? You know, the pyramid got up and floated away, maybe moved across the table or something like that.
Well,
Come on.
I've been told that it keeps the cops away. And when they have their pyramid or their owls, they weren't arrested. I know it sounds bad, but yeah. They kept them protected.
Because I've heard stories of people having the HFA in the car, Donna, and you know they're doing wink wink the speed limit, and they go right by a cop that has radar on, and they don't get pulled over.
Exactly. Yeah, that's been twice now.
So yeah, it definitely, when you're playing in the higher frequencies, it definitely, you know, there are benefits to it. Absolutely.
Hey, do we have time for a couple questions?
We do.
Fabulous. Okay. So I want to go to Charlene. Charlene is saying, I would love healing for my lower back.
Does she have a pyramid?
I don't know if Charlene has a pyramid or not.
Okay.
Donna, are the other questions actually questions that we can answer quickly and then get back to this one if we have time?
Yeah, there are some, yes.
Let's go to those
and,
first.
You bet. Odd Job 428. Tell us about the tall Egyptian style statues that you make, please.
Oh, I just got told to make them, and I just think they're wild. They're
I have one.
Yeah. What do you think?
You know, it was interesting for the longest time. It just wanted to stay on my kitchen table, so it did. Now it sits next to a dragon egg that I have above the fireplace, and it just loves it. Just interesting.
Peter, here's a question for you. Let's see here. Peter, if that is the case, can you tell sessions will work? Peter, are your sessions preordained?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that entire question?
Yeah, let's see here. Peter, if that is true, if that is the case, can you tell if your sessions will work if it's preordained?
So again, folks, it's just a theory. You know, when I don't read anything that's out on the internet, I don't read books, although I have a lot of books. And the reason for that is because I don't want to typically absorb other people's knowledge in how they accomplish something. I figure it out on my own. That way I know it's pure. So when someone is booking a session with me, okay, typically in every case that I can think of, the work is going to work because there's a contract in place. You're not going to be led to MDM because we don't advertise. Everything's through word of mouth and the website, and obviously shows that I've done. If you're led to what we do, you're going to get results in a session. Absolutely. Can I tell if there's a contract? No. If you're working with me, yes, there will be. Make sense?
Peter, you blinked out there. You said, if you're working with me.
If you're working with me, there's a contract. Absolutely.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Well, here's a comment from Robert. Robert wants to thank you, Peter, for having Karen on the MDM show and her pyramids on the MDM site. I would have never connected with her otherwise. Had a wonderful session with Karen and look forward to my pyramid. So that's from Robert. Big thanks to both of you. Thanks, Robert, for putting that in the chat. Georgia, of course, says the HFA does that too. And Silky says, true, we don't have free will. And mine is wiped clean, yet the growth is moving to an understanding. We are in a chaotic learning ground. Thoughts on that, Peter?
Well, you know, there's a lot of conjecture, speculation to where and what's happening in the world. And, you know, I'll comment on my experience. You know, you read about, if you ever heard of the Indigo Children, and then 3, maybe 5 generations after them, there are advanced teams of people being put in place, probably since the mid-60s, okay? And they're waking up every day all around the planet with beautiful and bizarre gifts. And I use myself as, you know, a perfect example. You know, I worked 20 years on Wall Street. Halfway through my tenure, I woke up, you know, and that was 12, 13 years ago. And today, I mean, look what we're doing. I mean, I'm pushing the envelope with software that modifies water, physical devices, you know, putting people masters of what they do, like Karen on the website, you know, and I'm spreading knowledge that I've accumulated over time that's so bizarre and beautiful out there. So that's what I know because I've experienced it and I lived it. And then you have the new age, kumbaya, crystals, pretty waterfalls that just preach love, and they're very nice people. They have good intent, but you know, they have a set mind. They live in a box and they don't know how to expand outside the box. And they say, this is what's going to happen. We're going to go to the 5th and the 8th dimension. And honestly, I don't know what the fuck that means, but that's what they say. Okay, what's going to happen? I have no idea. Is something happening? It's already on the way. And I will tell you this, there is an evolution of the species happening right now, and it's an evolution of the consciousness, okay? Consciousness is expanding. Think about this for a second, okay? You know, we all make comments about how fast things are going, how wow, the day flew by, right? But when we were growing up and you played outside all day long in a very safe, you know, environment, did you ever hear those comments before? Probably not. Okay, so time is a human construct to gauge how we move through existence. It measures our own existence, but outside of our innate 5 senses, time does not exist. Okay, all that energy in the world, time is irrelevant. So all I know is what I've experienced, and I really don't know what's going to happen, except that there is an evolution of the species happening now, and there is going to be some kind of shakeup. Okay, and I don't know what form that's going to come in. I don't pretend to. It might be violent. It might not be. But you know, we're now not going to phase out into some other dimension that just it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense for where we're moving. But you know, there's a lot of beautiful inventions that are coming online. There's just a lot of amazing things happening, and you know, the people's voice in the world is being heard. So yeah. So let's get back to that healing quickly. You got 3 more minutes to do another healing for that woman on her back, Karen?
Absolutely. So, can you ask her 6 months before her back started hurting what she was doing?
Actually,
you know what? She didn't respond,
Nope.
Karen, so I don't know if she's
Okay.
even on the call anymore. Could
Okay.
you do a general for her back so when she does listen to the replay?
Sure.
Because
You know
there's
what?
some other folks in there who need some general.
I want to broaden this because,
Yes.
because of the time that we have. Karen, I want you to project out healing for everyone listening live and then in the future on this call. And all the responsibility and the onus is on them. And the only thing they have to do is when you kick this off is to put their attention where they want that healing to go, whether it's for themselves or someone else.
Awesome. One thing that I have been finding out is if people got the pyramids and they put the pyramid, the base of that pyramid where the pain's at, believe it or not, it helps them. Okay, so anybody who has any pain in any place of their body, are they willing to let the energy of that pain that's causing the pain to be released? Any known and unknown energies that brought that into existence, are they willing to let that go? And if you'd say yes, Donna.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
And
Yes.
do you deeply and completely love and accept yourself unconditionally?
Very much so. Yes.
Here we go. Never did that before.
That's some serious healing, girl.
All righty.
It knew we were out of time.
It must have. Peter did that.
Karen, thank you again for coming on the show, always enlightening, and your creations are spectacular and nothing short of amazing. Can you let people know how they can get in touch with you, please?
Yeah, right to your site, or Karen Lagrange 1316 at gmail.com. And I don't know that other site, Donna.
Oh, your website is thecrystalmatrix.net.
Yes, there we go.
Okay, great. So just to recap, folks, the Q Shield for Animals is here. We're running some killer specials on the entire HFA line. And this is something that will be out in the next day or two. We have a page going up on the site that is the entire family of HFAs. It's the HFA Plus, HFA New Way to Travel, and the Mini at an extraordinary price for all three. If you don't own any and you want to get them all, it's coming up. Thanks, folks.
Oh, Peter.
Yep.
You got to do another big plug for the higher octaves, because I feel like tonight you kind of talked to some deep things, but I know the higher octave courses are going deep.
Absolutely. So, folks, the higher octaves consist of 4 courses, okay? And again, all this material is on the website. But, I've been doing workshops for a number of years. Last year, we really took it to a new level with the master classes. We did 3 generations of those. They were done over a 6-week period. You dial into a conference line once a week, and we would go over a topic, and all 6 courses made up the topic. And then I got burnt out and I started focusing on other things. So the higher octaves courses are designed to teach you about energy mechanics. We're going to be doing sacred geometry. We're going to be doing activations. We're going to be using water. There are 4 courses. They'll probably be between 45 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on, what we're doing. They are going to be recorded. You'll dial into a conference line and you'll interact with us. We'll answer questions towards the end. And, these are master level courses. These are things that I've never taught publicly before. And, it empowers you to move through the 0 point. So everyone wants to reach those higher octaves, but what they don't understand is it takes work, but the work is fun. You do an act of kindness, you're given a bit of information. What you do with that information determines if you move to the next octave. This is a way of opening you up energetically, allowing you to see these bits of information. And if you act on that information, then you're given more brilliance, okay? Kind of like the rabbit hole series that I just got done doing on YouTube. There was eight videos that I did, all using sacred geometry and water, some using crystals and some other things. And it's designed to put in the last course, I'm going to physically pull you through. So if you pull up a line in your head, a linear line, everything to the left of that point is as the world as it exists today, and everything to the right is how the world should have been. And you exist at the end of these courses in the new world. But to get through to 0 point, you have to unlearn everything you have ever learned for the real learning to be in. And that's for the premise of what I'm going to be showing you and working with you and pulling you through on the last course. So, the master classes went for $1,000. We filled up. People, saw value in it. They got it. I didn't want to charge that again. It's not about the money. It's about getting the experience out there. These courses are $297. Okay. They're at the same level, if not higher, of what I taught last year. We have some seats left. If you got 48 hours, you can still jump on the bandwagon. There's no homework for this first one. So if you want to sign up tonight, it's fine. But, if you see value in what you're getting, and what I teach and preach and how I bring it, because I'm not like anybody else. I'm wild and wily, and I just like to have fun in what I do. So higher octaves, they're there. We start in 48 hours. You still have time to get on board if you want. And that's it.
Right on. Woohoo! Go to the website, folks, and sign up. Join us. It's going to be a hell of a ride.
Thank you, Karen. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.